Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I just wanted to send a special shout out to all the parents in my class because you guys have been rock stars. And I was preparing my read aloud for today for the kids, and I'll send that along later, and it'll have like an activity with it too. But then I thought, let's do something for the parents, because I know it's uncertain times and people are frustrated and people are nervous and people are upset and isolated and sad and all that stuff. So when I was going through my books to find a read aloud for today, for the kids, I found this book called Tomorrow by Bradley Trevor Grieve. I have a whole series of his inspirational books. I think I got them as a gift from my mom or something. And they're fantastic. It's really cute because he's also a photographer, and there's pictures, like animal pictures, like with every single page. So I thought I would this seems like a perfect book to read during our uncertain times right now. And I thought maybe it would give you a little pick-me-up for the weekend. Okay, so I'm reading Tomorrow. And I'll try and go, I feel like I talk really fast, so I'll try and slow down, but it might not work. Okay, Tomorrow. All right, I'll show you some of the pictures. I won't show you all of them because it'll take too long. After long and thoughtful consideration, I have come to a rather interesting conclusion. Even though the global population is soaring into the billions with thousands of religions, languages, philosophies, and cultures represented, ultimately, there are only two kinds of people. There are those who are certain the world is going to hell in a handbasket. It's those people. I know some of those. And those who believe that the best is yet to come. I used to have a little stuffed animal named Sammy that looked just like that. Actually, there's a third kind of person who thinks traditional Irish dance is the highest form of creative expression, but I don't really want to talk about them. It was just because it's a funny picture of a turtle. Some of the pages are ridiculous. Now, it hardly takes a genius to point out that we already live in dangerous and uncertain times. Why, all you have to do is turn on the TV, grab a copy of the newspaper, or just look outside your window. It ain't a pretty sight. Hello, COVID-19. Best friends and former allies are suddenly tearing at each other's throats, while unshakable economic powerhouses are crashing to their knees on a daily basis. Could not be more true. It seems that everywhere you turn, there are psychotic egomaniacs secretly trying to spoil your fun, drive you crazy, and generally make your life miserable. Ugh. I know who that is, but I won't say. Oh, gosh. Just for starters, there are shop clerks with way too much attitude. I don't know what animal that is. I think it might be a gibbon. I don't know. I don't know a zoo animal. Donuts with too much icing sugar, unbearably long tap dance routines in the middle of your favorite old musicals, and the dramatic after effects of a dangerously authentic chili con carne that are made 10 times worse because public restroom doors never lock properly anymore. Y'all have been in that situation. TMI. Of course, heartburn is nothing compared to heartache. Even though we are frequently told that there are plenty of fish in the sea, the truth is that most of us spend a great deal of our lives physically and emotionally isolated, feeling utterly alone. Kind of all of society right now, right? And if you do finally snuggle up to someone who seems perfect for you, you find out they snore so loudly that your dreams need subtitles. Okay, you just can't win. If you listen to the professional doomsayers, they will tell you that's barely the half of it. They say these are our darkest days, and the future looks bleaker than ever. They tell us again and again that evil lurks everywhere, in the streets, in the trees, in the media, in the air, in the water, in the corridors of power, even in your sock drawer, waiting impatiently to rise up when we least expect it and sink its venomous teeth into our most tender regions. I don't know. Is that a baboon? I don't know. It's the end of the world, they shout. It's all over. Now, what I find so confusing is that if these stone-faced folk truly believe all the scary stuff they preach, why do they choose to keep on living? You will find that there is always beauty and hope in even the most awful circumstances. Birds on a barbed wire. There is always someone prepared to help those who ask. That's me. I'm here to help. Okay. There is always someone you can count on, and there are a million special moments that can chase the shadows from your face in an instant and will cost you nothing but a few spare minutes. Furthermore, romance is not dead. In fact, there are actually more qualified tango instructors working today than at any other time in history. And flamingos. I've never met a flamingo. Although it may not be on your mind right now, the wisdom you glean from your joys and hardships can always be shared with someone else, and by doing so, you will leave the world a little better than when you found it. So it's no surprise that when you think about the future, a lot of people feel anxious, somewhat depressed, and generally confused and alarmed. I mean, that couldn't be more true in this time of our lives. Even in the best, here, I'll show you a picture. Okay. Even in the best of times, there will never be a shortage of moaners and grumblers. But it's always fascinating to see how different people react during times of genuine uncertainty. There are those who completely flip out at the very first rumor of trouble and start screaming, "The sky is falling! The sky is falling!" But when you press them for hard evidence to explain their panic, they admit they have nothing better to back up their position than what a little bird told them. Somehow, it never occurs to them to wonder how credible the little bird's source was in the first place. So there's the little bird whispering in the ear, and now it's in a zebra's butt. So don't trust everything you hear, I think is what he's saying. Then there are people who put on a big show about how they are not concerned in the least and know exactly what to do about everything. Not me. But when they are alone at night and the lights go out, they may well be the most frightened of all. There are also plenty of folk who are absolutely certain that the future is an extremely hostile place, no matter what you show or tell them. They stand ready to defend themselves from a million dangers every day, until eventually they become as hard, ugly, and cruel as the world they have imagined. Like that. I don't even know what, was it a vulture? Oh, I think it's a falcon. And finally, there are people who just want to dig an emotional bunker and jump inside. They think that if they put up enough walls, they'll be safe. The irony is that instead of locking others out, they're actually locking themselves in. They may avoid a few things that make life difficult, but in the end, they also miss out on all the wonderful things that make life worth living. And that makes about as much sense as practicing high fives on your own. A far more reasonable approach is simply to put on the bravest smile you've got. And admit that you are not the center of the known universe. Therefore, there will always be things you don't know and can't control. So when it's simply not your day and things get a little out of hand, as they invariably do from time to time, it's much more productive and far healthier to just sit back and enjoy the absurdity of the moment. This is not rocket science. It's just common sense that you should enjoy the bizarre fact that you live on a planet with at least 600 unique flavors of ice cream. instead of getting all worked up about the truly disgusting taste of atomic lemon sherbet with licorice ripple. I don't even know what that is. It might not be a thing. Another reason why you shouldn't fear tomorrow is that although you probably aren't what you eat, you are certainly what you love. This means that who you really are is always accurately reflected in everything around you that is dear to your heart, your close friends being one obvious example. In this sense, it is fair to say that the world around you is a mirror. Therefore, you have a lot more control over the future than you might think, because you can shape your world just by being true to what you really care about. Perhaps this will make sense to you, and then again, perhaps it won't. You might say, aha, but how do you explain the terrible things in the world that I don't want? That is certainly a valid question. He's flabbergasted. Have you ever seen a baby orangutan? They're so cute. And my answer is, irritatingly enough, yet another question. What is it that you truly want? You see, it's what we truly want and love that influences the world around us, whether we admit it or not. For example, we often say we just want to be happy. And what we mean is we want money, lots of it. True. We say we want spiritual enlightenment and a higher sense of understanding, but what we really want are easy answers. We say we just want to be accepted for who we really are, when we really wish we were a little more glamorous. That's a pretty pig. And had slimmer, firmer thighs. I wish. As a rather wise person once said, you can't fool Mother Nature. There are certain immutable truths in this world that you just can't talk your way out of. Gravity will always get you down. Gravity, gravity, gravity. Belgian chocolates will go straight to your hips. Truth. And sticking your finger in the toaster when your Pop-Tarts are ablaze is something you'll regret. I've never done that, but I hope none of you have either. Think very clearly about what you care most about. What is it that gets you excited about being alive? What do you really want to do with the limited time that you have? What will your personal legacy be? But don't spend all your time dreaming about the future, because the key to tomorrow is today. No matter what brilliant answers you have for life's important questions, ultimately what counts is that you break through the fears and doubts that you hold back and take action. That pig's serious about stuff. Be your own cheerleader. Do something you never thought you'd ever do. Live in the moment. Follow only your own road, wherever it leads you, one step at a time. Your life journey is not a race or a competition, nor is it a boring highway without exits that you must trudge along for eternity. Little turtle trudging along. Embrace the unpredictable and go exploring for things that inspire you. Take time out to enjoy the view. Bear butt. I believe the most important things in your life will probably be the smooches you shared, the nights you spent gazing in wonder at the stars, all the funny-looking snow angels you made, the first drops of summer rain caught on your tongue, and the time that someone special whispered, "I love you." That's cute. Don't waste the present worrying about the future. It will come soon enough, I promise. In the meantime, I suggest you keep your chin up, put your walking shoes on, and follow your heart to the ends of the earth. As you make this journey, always remember that each day is a precious gift if you can enjoy it for what it is and make the most of it. Then, believe it or not, there is another extraordinary gift waiting for you. Tomorrow. All right, I hope that boosted your spirits a little bit in this crazy time. I hope you guys have a good weekend. I'll be in touch. Enjoy your Friday. Bye.